Listen.
I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the mums, especially my own. Let's get going.
Listen.
Abin, yeah. It's the Black Country Blokes, doing the fast about everything it is men's mental health, disability, and life in general. Here with me, Kev Dillon, and my partner in crime, as always, Lee Cadman. And as we're aware, the weather's getting rather rubbish. Polite way of saying it. It's getting dark now, the clocks have gone back, the leaves are on the ground. And we're just going to give you some of our thoughts on winter, autumn, and just getting it through. So if there was one way, guys, if I had the key, I'd give it to you. But all I can do is give you some of my tricks of the trade that's helped me get through it. But as always, I'm going to start with our gratitude list, because that is something that I really do practice, and I do preach a lot about it, just remind ourselves to be grateful. And then we had Halloween the other day, so me, my wife, and my daughter went to Black Country Museum. We all got dressed up. It was a brilliant night. Friday, we went to Warwick Castle. Saturday, we had the Dillon's bonfire. Great seeing old friends and family and just having a good laugh. Sunday, we had what I like to call a smelly day. We didn't get off the settee. We just watched people on the telly. And yesterday, we went to Troycross. So, great days with great people. Over the moon. What are you grateful for, bruv?
My oldest daughter, she's done a test. She's coming up to her mock exams and her GCSEs next year. And we've been going around colleges and looking at college and that, but she did a test, science test, and she's got the highest grade possible in that test.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant, Kev, but what kind of impressed me more is it doesn't come natural to her. So she puts the hard work in to get those grades. You know, it's not like my son, he just gets great grades and he doesn't work for it, but she really does put the work in, and it's nice to see that when she does put that work in, she gets grades that she doesn't know she's capable of. So I'm grateful for her, grateful that she's having to put that work in, because that'll hold her in good stead later in life, that she'll realise actually you can achieve these things if you put the work in to do it.
Well, as everyone knows, we're in the boxing club downstairs, and I think sometimes people are born with so much talent, but because they're so talented, often makes them lazy. It's the people who've got just the right amount of talent, because, you know, it does help in everything, doesn't it, if we're naturally gifted. But it's that work rate and that resilience that makes a champion.
Yeah.
And it's so many times, you know, like my daughter, she went to a tag rugby team, and they got to the finals. And she was there going, "Oh, Daddy, we lost in the finals." And I went, "Well, look, I have boxers up here. Danny, he got to the semi-finals at the development championships, but he had to win 5 bouts to get him that far. So you've always got to remember the times that you won and learn from when you lost." And I love having that when we talk about boxing or everything she goes through. I think learn from your elders who you know through boxing. And we think of boxing as such a tough sport, which it is. But all of these things aren't setbacks. They're ways of learning and seeing at other people who are successful going, wow.
And it makes it more sweeter when you do win, doesn't it?
But that's what it is. A one-shot kill's so wonderful, because it doesn't happen very often. We often lose more than we win, but we haven't got to see us losing. It's I'm learning on the way.
Yeah, there's a great word for it that escapes my mind that Ross Edgley says, actually, and he did a swim in the Yukon, the longest non-stop swim, and he did a research going into it, and I can't remember the word, it's totally gone, but basically there's certain things that satisfy you and make you happy, but there's a special place for things where you've worked really hard and then achieved it, instead of it just being instant, you know. It's better for your brain, it's better for you. I can't remember the bloody word, it's gone.
But it's like someone just gives you a car, or someone just gives you a house. It's different to when you've earned it and you've saved up your wage package.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's a different type of happiness. It's an elevated happiness as such.
But you've seen the work that goes into it, and we see this with our children. Like when they save their pocket money to buy the video game. It's different when you give it to them.
Yeah.
If you just give it to them, it has no value just because on the floor and
Yeah.
whatever. But when you've had to earn it and you've had to wash the cars and clean the dishes, and you've seen the hard work that gets you, that's success. And I heard it, I think it was Jimmy Carr, he said, like, the thought of it is often better than it. You know, and when you have to think like, and you have this with kids and what you want. Oh, I want this game, this computer, these shoes, and you break it down. And a lot of it, they don't actually want the idea of it. What most of us want is, I just said, like, we went to the Black Country Museum, Warwick Castle, Tricross Zoo. My favourite day of all of them, we all agreed, was our smelly day.
Yeah.
Just being in the warm.
You could have just done that for 3 days.
We
How
can
much
do.
would you have saved?
But it's nice to. It's nice to go out. It's nice to do things because then you're making memories. But I always said, like, all the years of doing hypnotherapy and doing these things, my happy place was always being in Thailand on a beach, and I could hear the waves crashing and the sun on my face. Now my happy place, when I do anything, is on my settee under my red blanket with my girls.
And there's probably a bit of, you've been busy all them days, and actually it's just nice to rest.
Yeah.
You know, it's just nice to be there and not be going to Black Country and going here. And there's, you know what I mean? It's just busy, isn't it? Whereas when you're doing that, you just are resting, and there's that moment you sit on the couch and it's just, you know what, we've had a big fun few days, but a busy few days.
Well, anyone who knows anything about amateur boxing, because we run a successful club, but we've been out at the development and the CYPs and any. So we've been out sometimes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're thinking, blooming heck, we haven't had a weekend away. Unfortunately, my lads have lost in these championships. Box well, didn't go our way. That's a discussion for a different day. But it's also good for me now. It's good to sound that my lads have lost, to have that quality time, because so many times it's, well, can you come to my birthday party? Can you come to my wedding? Can you come to the christening? Can you come to my, you know, whatever? And you have to go, I've got to see, because if so-and-so's still boxing, I'll try and be there.
Yeah.
But the other day, I mean, one of my lads, Tom Jones, very talented lad, he boxed on the Thursday, but I've taken my daughter to the Black Country Museum, and I've started doing that in my later coaching life, because my daughter's only young herself, and thinking I've got to be there for her moments too. And I'm so grateful I've got great coaches around me, like Simon Wilson and Josh, who took the lads there. I've got plenty more, like Aaron and Jay and Nico, and obviously my dad and Big John and Christian. But they allowed me, they went to the fight, so I had time with my daughter. And that gets me through it, knowing sometimes, because when I've been running this club basically on my own, it is hard, because you're having to phone up for sparring, boxing, training. You're there and you're thinking, it's great that I've got people in my life that I know when I'm not there, that the boxer's looked after, they're safe. But if I'm not at the club will still run.
Yeah.
And that's a good peace of mind, isn't it? When you've got people to look after the thing that you've helped create, and you put a lifetime into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And you have got to, we've spoke about this before, like, the years fly by when you have kids. And I think my eldest now 15, coming 16. And you've got to make time for that, man, because I didn't to begin with. I missed most of my son's first few years because all I did was work. And I regret that now, because they are precious times and you don't get them back. They're done. And then he's hitting his age now. He's 13. So my other's 15. And not that they want to be around you, but they've got other interests that they're pursuing. So, you know, it's not the same as when the kids and you're there be all and end all, aren't you?
It's like every time when we go and she wants a face painting, she's 9, you know, a pre-teen. You know what I mean? But I always think, when will this could be the last time?
Yeah.
You know, when she wants to come and have a cuddle in bed, or when she wants to have a munch on the settee, or whatever it is, you're thinking, hold on to this, because all of a sudden she ain't going to give you a kiss goodnight, or she's not going to. So why she does, and why she does want to hold my hand or to walk there to school, treasure it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think this is what a lot of us dads and blokes don't talk about, these in special moments. And
it's probably because it passes you by because you're too busy working and too busy doing that's why you don't. There's a bit of a shame behind it, isn't there? Really, that you don't feel like you made enough time. And
time's the one thing that you can't get back. You can buy new clothes, you can have other holidays, you can get other jobs, but time's such a funny bugger, because once it's gone, it's gone. And it's looking back and thinking, why wasn't I there for a football match? Why wasn't I there for a boxing match? Why wasn't? And you're thinking, I've got the power to do this. If you can hear the fireworks in the background, by the way, we're not. It's not a drive-by. I mean, like, I love bonfire night. I mean, I don't like the autumn. To me, it's like a descent into madness. Every day it's a bit darker, a bit colder, and it really, this when I'm going through my depression or whatever, it's very much like autumn.
It compounds it, doesn't it? It does. It
Compounds it.
feels like autumn. It feels like winter, doesn't it? I think the depression side.
Mm.
You feel it closing in on you like winter does, and yeah, it's similarities, isn't there?
But I love bonfire night. It's very British. I love sitting around a fire. It's normally at my mum's. We all get there. It's normally raining, but it was dry this year. But we all sit around, and it's wonderful. Having there, like my daughter was frightened of like bangs, but she's getting over her fear. But I'm so proud of her this year. I mean, over this year she was frightened of balloons and the bangs. She's got over that. She's been frightened of heights, but her friend had a birthday party at Go Ape. And typical beautiful girl that she is, she said, "Well, I don't like heights, but I'll come to your party." And she got there, and it's as high as trees, and she cried, and went over, and the man walked around it. And I thought, what a great thing that is. Resilience. Be frightened. It's okay to be frightened, but do it anyway. When I do our public speaking or do anything, I get frightened. My stomach churns. I feel like I'm going to be sick. It's your body and your mind giving you a way out of doing it. But what we do is, like I've always done, take a deep breath, step forward, and get over it. And that's like with this weather at the moment. You're thinking, it's horrible, but I can't change the weather. I could just change my outlook on it. I could just wear a warmer coat or a raincoat or take a brolly. We can't change the weather, but we can change our outlook of what the weather brings.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And you can still walk in the rain. You can still enjoy it. It's just to say you've got to dress for it.
I mean, it gets difficult like, with my eyes, like seeing like where all the leaves are. They're very beautiful, but it gets harder to see where the steps are.
And it's getting darker, which is harder.
It's getting darker, and then the lights come in because I'm blind in my left eye. My peripheral vision's not very good, so I can't see if it's a shadow or a step. But we get through it. I've got through 40, almost 41 winters so far, and you've got to remind yourself that stuff is difficult. However, I survived it last time. How do I know I survived it last time? Because I'm still here.
And it's fleeting as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before we know it, we'll be changing the clocks back, and it will be getting sunny and lighter earlier and darker later, and before you know it, you're at that point.
This too shall pass. This season will pass, and hopefully we'll get to another spring, and hopefully it's there. And we can't appreciate the spring without having a winter. And it's like this. I mean, this year's been a funny old year. It's felt like 11 months of autumn. I stood outside and I thought, if I took a photo of me stood on that car park, it could have been spring, summer, or autumn. We've had the same grey sky. Well, if the only thing we can moan about is the weather, we're having a good old time.
And really, we're in November now, and actually, I think of 1 or 2 days of ice and frost in the morning. It's not been, so far. I think we've been let off quite easy. Might get worse, but who knows?
Yeah, but in my garden back at home, I've still got my summer flowers out, and it's pausing and it's like stopping. I did a video the other year outside in the garden. I went, these leaves are a great representation, a great metaphor in life. The leaves will fall. Like us, we will fall. We will have bad times, but you know what? If we're patient, the leaves come back. And realising they've got to fall down to create other leaves. We've got to not get swept up in the mess that they create, but don't worry. They're fertilising the ground that nourishes the tree so the tree can get stronger and better. We need that. The beauty of a rainbow is we need the sun, but we also need the rain.
Rain, yeah.
And that's what life is. Sometimes we only focus on the good. The good's great, but the bad times create resilience, to create strength, to create wisdom, to create our best self. Because we can only learn when we're losing, when we're hurting, to prevent ourselves from doing that again. And if we keep repeating the cycle, then we're going to keep, definition of any madness, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So the only way we can get better is by learning from the lesson and putting it right today and tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of your keys like for beating these wintry blues?
I think number one is get outside as much as you can. Like you say, even if it's raining, put a coat on that because we tend to. It's great huddling up in your house and doing that, but keep staring at the same four walls is not good for you. So actually get out and enjoy the weather, whether it's sunny or rainy or whatever is going on. So I'd say that's a key. But as you're saying earlier, again, change your mindset about it. You know, because let's be honest, it's not nice waking up, going to work in the dark, coming back and it's dark again. You know, you feel like you've got less time in the day, don't you, to do the things that you actually want to sit down and do. But just change your mindset about that, don't you? And just think, well, actually, I'm lucky. I've got a job to go to. Or look, I've got a house to come back to, or you know what I mean. And be grateful for all that.
I think even as you said, like when it's light at 9 o'clock on the night, you think I could sit in the garden. I'm not going to, but it's having that option.
Yeah.
Whereas find something else to look forward to.
Well, I kind of enjoy the dark as well. I think there's something about, again, wrapping yourself up around a fire, around your fire pit, and actually looking out over the stars. And you don't have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning to do it. You know, so again, there's always positives in what's there, isn't there?
And once again, you can't change it, so embrace it.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think that's that old saying: give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, the wisdom to know the difference. And what that basically breaks down to is, I can't change the weather, so why am I fretting about it? I can change my clothes, so put that right.
Yeah.
And knowing the wisdom, you know, no matter how much I fret about it, if the rain's coming, it's going to come.
Yeah, yeah.
If I haven't got a coat, go and get one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they are the things that we can change. And by focusing on the things that we can change, makes us happier. And the saying I'm saying all the time, and I'll say it at the end, is what ifs can't make you happy. That's a universe that you're living in. A universe, that you're not living in. You know what I mean? How about if I didn't lose my eyesight? How about if it doesn't rain? How about that's just somewhere you don't live? So why are you tormenting yourself with that universe? Think about what can I do? What can I do in this wonderful world and this wonderful life that I've got and I'm creating now? And focus on those realities. Because otherwise you're going to end up being sad.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, sadness brings bitterness, that brings resentment, and none of those are nice emotions to have.
No, they're not.
So let's focus on the best life that we have got and that we can create.
Sounds good to me, Kev.
Oh, I think that's a nice way to
I think it is.
Well, next week we've got a good friend of mine, Errol Johnson, who's a great promoter and a great coach from BCB, Black Country Boxing, not Black Country Blokes, but he's going to be coming on to talk about all the wonderful things that he's producing and being a part of. Because it's great getting Black Country Boxing on the map, and at the moment we're absolutely smashing it.
He is, to be fair, isn't he? He's probably the only promoter who's getting on these big shows from around here.
Gent, who's also
Grant, yeah.
We've got a couple. So we're all about promoting this wonderful area of ours. So guys, tune in next week. Always, if you can, press the subscribe button. Spread the word to your friends and help us grow. We've got some great news coming up in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. Until then, though, I want you all to take care of yourselves and each other. Turn on a bit.
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.